Hey guys, Vega here. Welcome to episode 12 of Shingakkou. Last episode, I think we left off after Michael made a visit to his father's alumni's room. Got some useful information there. Learned that his dad used to be part of the secret society, or he has doubts on whether or not his dad was actually part of the secret society. Mr. Morin was definitely part of the secret society. And yeah, I think that's where it was. After that, every time I go to give Mr. Morin his lunch, I will ask for some information about the past.
休養だなんて言ってるけどさ、ろくでもないことをしでかしてロンドンにいられなくなっただけじゃないの？
I'll hear Gabby saying that even though he says that he's here for vacation, but he hasn't been doing good things since originally anyway, and couldn't stay in London. That's probably it, right? And even though this is what Gabby says, I feel the same. Even though he says that he's not feeling well, but he looks pretty fine to me. Staying at the school doesn't require a lot of money, and there will be people like me to make sure that he has everything he needs and has a good environment to live in. And in this way, the school is like a hotel for him. At first, he was slightly aware of me and was worried about whether or not I will blackmail him. But ever since he noticed that I did not spread any rumors about him, he started to relax.
Mr. Moran, 僕はただ
Remembering the past conversation.
でも秘密結社って何をするんですか？黒ミサをやることも。
But what does the secret society actually do? Do they carry out the black mass?
そりゃあるとも。
Of course.
怖いな。黒ミサってやっぱり怖いことをするんですか？例えばその人を殺したり。
That's so scary, something like the black mass. Do they do some very terrifying things there? Like killing people, for instance?
おいおい、よしてくれよ。僕らの悪魔崇拝ってのは所詮真似事さ。本気で悪魔を崇拝していたわけじゃないんだぜ。
Oh, don't say things like that. Even though we say that we worship Satan, but we just put on a show. We don't actually worship Satan for real.
そりゃ鶏や猫なら生贄にしたけどね。誰だって鶏は食べるだろう。責めるほどのことかい。
Occasionally we've used birds and cats as sacrifices, but that's the same as just eating meat, right?
そうですね、ミスター。おっしゃる通りです。
That's right, mister. You're correct.
僕は見ての通り、今は信仰に熱い熱心な信徒で紳士だ。休養先に進学校を選ぶくらいだもの。おかしな言いがかりはつけないでくれたまえよ。
As you can see, I am a faithful believer of God, and I'm even choosing to stay at the school for my vacation. Don't say some strange things about me. He seems a little upset.
失礼しました、ミスター。悪気はなかったんです。
I'm sorry, mister. I did not have mean intents. I did not have bad intentions.
ただ父が何か悪いことをしていたんじゃないかと気になって。
I'm just worried about whether or not father did something really bad.
別にいいさ。僕はこの通り寛大な男だし、君はご両親を亡くしたばかりだ。気にしないさ。
Don't worry, as you can see, I am a very forgiving person. And, well, I'm not sure what this translates to, but something like he can, like, he's a very open person. You just lost your parents not long ago. I won't mind what you're saying. The information I got from Mr. Moore and it tells me that the secret society from back then is not much different from the secret society now. Worshipping Satan is just an act and didn't actually is no more than just an act of disobedience from students, like nothing major essentially. But if that's the case, then who killed my family?
壁には確かに赤蛇の土の模様があったけど、あれは僕と君しか見ていない。火が消えた時には壁紙ごと燃えてしまっていたんだし。
There was the mark of the secret society on our wall at the time, but the only one who witnessed it was you and me. After the wall burned down, the mark was burned with it.
本当に模様あったのか。
Was the mark actually there to begin with? Sometimes I will chat with Gabby in the shed next to the lake.
記憶違いだったんじゃないかって思ってる？
Are you wondering if your memories are messed up?
とんでもない遠回りを。無駄なことをしているんじゃないかって。時々不安になる。
Did I go on a roundabout route? Sometimes I will feel uncertain. If Mr. Morin is correct, and Father was actually part of the secret society, and even if the secret society has something to do with the case, then would it be possible that the members today have nothing to do with it? Maybe something happened within Father's alumni, and that was the main cause. So essentially, he's wondering if there was like an argument or something between like his dad's time, and it's not related to the current members of the secret society. Even now, I cannot truly believe that Father was part of the secret society.
マイケル、考えすぎないようにしよう。今はできることをやるんだ。
Michael, don't think too much. Just do what you can do for the time being.
とは言っても、ここのところ黒ミサの誘いも来ないしな。
Even though you say that, but these days I haven't even gotten an invitation for Black Mass. Taking care of Mr. Morin, doing my job as a prefect, and doing my daily chores, these have become my daily routine. About a week after Mr. Morin arrived, something changed.
へえ、じゃあ当時から自分以外のメンバーが誰なのかは誰も知らなかったんですね。
Then, other than yourself, you don't know the identities of anyone else.
そうさ、誰もね。 でも僕は見抜いたけどね。
That's right, no one knows, but I could tell.
すごいな。一体どうやって知ったんですか？
Wow, that's amazing. How did you figure it out?
そりゃいくら声色を使っているからといっても限度はあるだろう。長く接していれば誰なのかうすうす察しはつくさ。
Because no matter when you're because when you're changing your voice, you will have a limit, right? And when you're together for a long time, you can find some you can tell from the difference in the voice.
無論僕が他のメンバーよりもほんの少し耳が良く、ほんの少し勘と洞察力が優れていたってのはポイントだけどね。
Mr. Moore is praising his own hearing abilities here. I don't like.
そうですね。ミスター・モランはすごいな。
That's right, Mr. Moore, you're so amazing.
それじゃあ僕の父のことも声で気づかれたんですか？
Then, for you to tell that my father was a member, was it also from his voice?
それだけじゃないさ。僕はね、相手が誰なのか分かったら正々堂々と自分の正体を明かし、直接相手に確かめた。
No, no. If I know who the other person is, I will tell him my identity and then go ask him.
君の父上も名乗ってくれた。あの時のメンバーのうち何人かはそうやって確かめたってわけさ。
Your father and I reported each other's names to each other. Then that's how we knew about the other person. And a lot of the other members did the same. If it's like this, then that means father is for sure a member. Behind Mr. Moran's back, I bit my lips. I can't think of a reason why Mr. Moran will lie. But I can't think of a reason why my father would lie either. Then my father must be a member.
父さん、どうして？
Why, father? I shook my head to get rid of this thought. I have to continue the conversation. I still have things I need to ask.
ミスターは度胸があるな。自分から正体を明かすだなんて。
You're so brave, mister, to reveal your own identity.
いやー、僕は水臭いのが嫌いなだけさ。何事にも正々堂々としないとね。
No, I like to be straightforward about everything.
メンバーたちはみんな仲良しだったんですか？
Were the members on good terms with each other?
どうしてだい？
Why do you want to ask this?
いえ、正体を暴かれたメンバーが怒ったことはなかったのかなと思って。
No, I was just wondering if any of the members whose identities were revealed were angry. What I actually want to ask is whether or not my family's death has something to do with one of the members from back then.
いや、そんなことはなかったよ。僕らは皆仲が良かった。同じ秘密を共有している仲間だからね。
No, nothing like that has ever happened. From what I've seen, everyone was on really good terms with each other, and we were friends with the same secret.
なるほど。
But is it possible that Mr. Moran simply didn't notice the inner fights? It's not that it's not a possibility. I can't believe that he is actually as sharp as he claims to be. Has anything major enough happened for a member to want to kill my father? But I can't. But a question like this probably won't get an answer from this person. In that case, it's more important for me to figure out who was actually a member from back then. And if possible, I want to ask about the identity of the leader. Since the other members were all selected by the leader, then the fastest solution would be to find the leader himself. From these days of observing Mr. Moran, I've noticed that he is very scared of the secret society leader. Every time you speak about the leader, he will start stumbling. And he will start to ask me to go outside the room. Therefore, I have to find a way to get him to speak up.
でもそんなミスターでもリーダーの正体はわからなかったんだ。そのリーダーって人すごいですね。そんなにうまく正体を隠すなんて。
But even someone as sharp as Mr. Moran couldn't find the identity of the leader, right? And he is pretty amazing to be able to hide his identity so well.
何を言ってるんだ。僕を見くびっちゃ困るな。
What are you saying? If you look down on me like this, I will be worried.
でもミスターにも結局わからなかったんでしょ？
But Mister, you don't know, right? My calculations beautifully reached what I wanted them to do. Mr. Moran unhappily replied me.
まるでわからなかったわけじゃないさ。そこまで僕が鈍く見えるかい？
It's not that I don't know anything. Do I look so dumb to you?
いいえ、ミスター。
No, of course not, Mister.
そうだろうとも。
That's right, that's right.
無論見当をつけてはいたさ。ほとんど分かってたんだが惜しいかな。尻尾はつかみ損ねたんだよ。
An approximate guess. I have obtained an approximate guess, but even though I basically figured everything out, but I couldn't find any evidence.
残念でしたね、ミスター。
That's too bad, Mister.
いやいや、そうでもないさ。僕はこの鋭い観察力で重大な秘密を見抜いてしまったんだからね。
No, that is not all. Using my sharp observation skills, I found a big secret.
重大な秘密って？
Big secret.
僕はある時気づいたんだ。リーダーがどうやら途中で交代しているんじゃないかってね。
I noticed that during one time, the leader actually switched people.
え？本当ですか？
Is that true?
本当かどうかは神のみぞ知る。だよ、ミッキー。だが、僕の目はごまかせないのさ。
Oh, that is something that only God knows, Mickey. But if he wants to fool me, it's not that easy.
さて、ミッキー、どうやって僕が見破ったのかわかるかい？
So, Mickey, do you want to know how I was able to tell?
いいえ。
No. I squeezed my fist. Mickey. Is he calling me Mickey?
慣れ慣れしく呼ぶな。このトサカ頭。
Who allowed you to call me with call me a nickname? You cock-headed chicken. I want to say that out loud, but I can't say it.
単純な話さ。リーダーの声が急に変わってね。声色を変えたってレベルの変わり方じゃなかったんだよ。
It's very simple. The leader's voice changed. To change on degree like that is not something that simply faking your voice can hide.
前のリーダーが降りて、メンバーの誰かが新しいリーダーになったってことですか？
Do you mean the old leader retired and someone among the members became the new leader?
さて、不思議なのはそこさ。さっきも言った通り、リーダー以外のメンバーの正体については僕は当たりをつけていた。
Now, the strange thing comes here. Other than the leader's identity, I have figured out who everyone else was.
だからメンバーの誰かがリーダーになったのなら僕には分かったはずさ。すぐさまね。
So if one of the members became the new leader, I would have noticed immediately.
だがリーダー以外のメンバーに変わりはなかった。参加者の数が増えたわけでも減ったわけでもない。さあミッキー、これがどういうことだかわかるかい？
However, other than the leader, none of the other members changed, and the numbers of members did not decrease either. Therefore, Mickey, do you understand what happened?
リーダーだけが入れ替わった。
Only the leader changed?
ご明察。
Very smart.
つまり新参者がいきなりリーダーになったと。
Therefore, the new member immediately became the leader?
そうさ。というかそれ以外に考えようがない。他に答えなんかないじゃないか。
That's right. And other than this, there's no other explanation. That's strange. Usually in an organization, when the leader retires, doesn't he choose a new leader from the old members? A new member organizing the Black Mass right off the bat. Is that possible?
わかりませんね。一体どういう基準でリーダーが選ばれてるんでしょう。
I don't understand. What kind of criteria does he use to pick the leader?
無論リーダーの声や口調がいきなり変わった時、僕は大いに怪しいんだよ。
When the leader's voice changed, I also had huge doubts.
メンバーの誰かから選ばれるならまだしも、新参者が急にリーダーになるだなんてまともな組織ならありえない。
If one of the original members was chosen, then that would be fine. But to let a new member immediately become the leader, how can a proper organization allow something like that to happen?
まあこう言っちゃなんだが、赤蛇の土のメンバーは非常に自立心の強い誇り高い面々だ。既存の価値観に一打を入れようという集まりだからね。
But every member of the secret society has very high self self-esteem, or like each of them like considers themselves as very important people.
ええ、よくわかります、ミスター。
Yes, I understand, Mister. Hurry up and continue speaking.
それからどうなさったんですか？新しいリーダーを認めた。
So what happened? Was the new leader accepted by everyone?
そりゃすぐに認めたりはしなかったさ。僕はまず他のメンバーと話をした。リーダーの声が変わったことをどう思うかってね。
Of course not. I asked everyone else what they thought about the leader's voice suddenly changing.
みんなもね、声が変わったことには気づいていたよ。
Everyone noticed that change.
ただ声色の使い方を変えただけだというもの、僕のように中身が入れ替わったというもの、メンバーの意見は2つに分かれたのさ。
But we split into two factions. One faction thought that he was simply changing his voice, and the other thought that he had changed, like completely changed people.
まったくどうかしているよ。あの声の変わりようでただ声色を変えただけだと思い込めるなんてまるで分かっちゃいない。
I don't know what they were thinking. For someone's voice to change like that, it's not something you can just hide from pretending.
メンバーの意見が割れたか。やっぱり何かあったんじゃないのか？ いさかいみたいなものが。
Members disagreed, huh? It seems that some big argument happened after all.
それじゃあ少しは揉めたんじゃないですか。新しいリーダーを認めない人も出たんじゃ。
Did the people get into an argument then? Did some people not accept the new leader? Mr. Morin looked at me and smiled.
ところがね、そこが赤蛇の土の不思議なところさ。
This is the strange thing about the secret society.
僕らもそりゃ最初は考えたよ。新参者をリーダーと認めることはできないってね。
How could we accept this new leader? That's what I thought at first as well.
でもそのうち認めざるを得なくなった。どうしてだと思う、ミッキー？
But after a while, we were forced to accept. Mickey, what do you think the reason is? Even though I want to shout at him to just hurry up and say it, but I endured.
意地悪しないで早く教えてくださいよ、ミスター。どんなことがあったんですか？
Oh, please, hurry up and tell me, mister. What happened?
実はね、新リーダーは前のリーダーと同じ特技を持っていたんだ。
The new leader had the same special ability as the old one.
特技？
Special ability?
リーダーはね、特殊な力で選ばれる。多分そういうことなんだ。
There's a possibility that leaders are chosen based on their special ability.
あの力を持つ者だけがきっとリーダーになれるんだ。そう分かったから僕は認めたってわけさ。
Only those with that ability can become the leader. Once I noticed that, I accepted him.
それでその特殊な力って？
Then what is this special ability?
それはね、未来を予見する力さ。
That is the ability to foresee the future.
まさか。
No way. That's so sudden and it's difficult to believe.
信じられないかい？でも本当のことなんだ。実際こんなことがあったよ。あれは。
Hard to believe, right? But that's the truth. And something like this happened in the past, and that was just as Mr. Morin was about to continue speaking, there was a knock on the door. The two of us froze, and Mr. Morin spoke up first.
はい、どなたかな？
Who is it?
失礼、ミスター・モラン。マイケル・レビーはここにいますか？
Excuse me, Mr. Morin. Is Michael Levy here? Is Father August's voice.
ちょっと失礼します。
Please excuse me for a moment. I said this to Mr. Morin and immediately went out the door. Father August is as like his usual self and smiled as he saw me.
よかった。探してたんだ。
Finally, I was looking for you for a while.
すまないんだけど、ちょっとラザラス神父のお部屋へ行ってくれるかい？手伝いをしてほしいとおっしゃっていたんだ。
Can you go to Father Lazarus's room? He says he has a task for you.
私が手伝えればいいんだけど、ちょっと手が離せなくてさ。
Originally, I could have went, but right now I have some things that I have to do.
わかりました。
Understand.
申し訳ありません、ミスター。神父様から用事を言いつかってしまいました。続きは夜にでもお聞かせ願えますか？
I'm so sorry, mister, but the father says that the father at church says that he needs me for something. Can you tell me the story later tonight?
おやおや、監督生は大変だ。いいとも、また夜に来たまえよ。
It's difficult being a prefect, right? Of course, I'll see you tonight. I hurried to Father Lazarus's room.
ラザラス神父、マイケルです。お、どうなさったんですか？
Father Lazarus was looking at a piece of newspaper.
さっき窓を開けたら急に突風が吹き込んできてね。いや、参りました。
I opened the window earlier and there was a strong wind.
それで僕を。
And so you called me?
いえ、本当はね、このレポートのチェックを手伝ってもらおうとしたのですが。
No, I want you to check this report for me.
ああ、マイケル、扉を閉めて飛んでいってしまう。
Michael, please close the door. It's about to fly away. Oh, so on the report is about Adol Stapleton. It was the cute kid that was just scolded by the principal. By the time that Michael was able to visit Mr. Moran again, it was already the evening.
ミスター、食事をお持ちしました。
Mister, I have your dinner.
ミスター。
There's no response. If it was the normal, his voice would already ring through the door. Is he taking a nap? I put my hand on the handle and it appears to not be locked.
ミスター、入りますよ。
Mister, I'm coming in. The light was off. When I looked around, I couldn't see Mr. Moran, but even though it was a bit dark and I can't tell for sure, but I can tell that he's not in the room.
外出してるのかな。この食事、どうすりゃいいんだ。
Did he leave? What should I do with his dinner? Even though I can just put it on his table, but if I come into his room on my own when he's not in there, I feel like he'll be unhappy if he knew about it. I left the room. I went back to the cafeteria and told this to the lady in the kitchen.
あら、そうなの？外出するとは聞いていなかったんだけど、まああの子は学生時代からいい加減だったものね。
Ah, is that so? Even though he didn't say that he would be going out, but that student, even when he was a student, he was someone who was easygoing like that.
食事はどうしましょうか。
What should I do with this dinner?
いいわ。こちらで預かっておきましょう。帰ってきてお腹が空いていたら自分で取りに来るでしょうよ。
I'll just give it to me. He'll be hungry when he's back, and he'll come look for it.
本来なら食堂でみんなと一緒に食べる規則なのに、勝手なことをしているのは彼の方なのだから、少しくらい厳しくしないとね。
He should be eating here with everyone anyways. The one who's not following the rules is him, and so we should be strict once in a while. And so, like usual, I went to carry about my daily tasks, and eventually forgot about Mr. Moore. And even till the second morning, I was unable to talk to him. I hardly eat my breakfast and left before everyone else finished. I went to call out Mrs. Macaulay, and that was the lady from earlier. But Mrs. Macaulay didn't have anything in her hands.
ミスター・モランの朝食は。
What about Mr. Moran's breakfast?
それがね、彼はどうも帰ってしまったようなのよ。
It seems that he has left already.
帰って。で、ご自宅にですか？
Left? You mean he went home?
そう。 詳しいお話はラザラス神父かオーガスト神父に伺ってちょうだい。
That's right. If you want the details, you should ask Father Lazarus or Father August.
ああ、そうそう。世話係のお仕事お疲れ様。やっと解放されたわね。
Ah, that's right. Your responsibility as his caregiver was tough work. You can finally be released from it. Michael went back to the hallway and called out to Father Lazarus and Father August.
ラザラス神父、オーガスト神父、ミスター・モランがお帰りになったって本当ですか？
I heard that Mr. Moran went back. Is that true?
どうもそのようなのです。
Oh, his voice is trembling. Yes, that seems to be the case.
取るものもとりあえずね。急なことで私たちもびっくりしてるんだよ。
He seemed to be in a hurry when he went back, and because of that, we were in shock.
どうもそのようなのですって。それではまるでお帰りになったかどうかわからないみたいじゃないですか。
I'm saying that it seems to be the case. Doesn't that mean that you guys aren't sure if he actually went back? Father August and Father Lazarus looked at each other.
まあ実際そんなところなんだよね。
That is true.
実はミスター・モランは誰にも何も言わず突然帰ってしまったのです。
In truth, Mr. Moran didn't tell anyone and appeared to suddenly have just went back.
マイケル、君は客室を見ましたか？
Michael, have you seen the guest room?
一応。でも暗かったのであまりよく見ていません。
Yes, but because it was very dark, I couldn't see very clearly.
明るい中で見るとひどいありさまだよ。昨日のラザラス神父のお部屋どころじゃない散らかり方さ。ハリケーンが2つ3ついっぺんに来てるね、あれは。
When there's enough light, it looks terrible. It was even more messy than Father Lazarus's room yesterday. It was as if two tornadoes combined into one and hit his room.
自分の荷物だけはかろうじて持ち帰ったようですが、よほど慌てていたのでしょうね。部屋はかなり乱れていました。忘れ物も多かったですし。
Even though he seems to have took his luggage with him, but he seems to have left in a hurry. His room was a mess and he left a lot of things.
ミスター・モランが衣類のはみ出たトランクを手に慌てた様子で帰るところを見たっていう学生諸君もいたしね。
Some students said that they saw Mr. Moran's suitcase didn't even have the clothing stuffed in properly, and he left it in a rush like that.
どうして何の連絡もなく帰ってしまったのかがよくわからないのですよ。
Even though I can't really understand, but he didn't say anything and just suddenly left.
ホテルならば料金を踏み倒す人もいるだろうけど、ここの宿泊料はもともと微々たるものだし。
If he was living in a hotel, then we can say that maybe he didn't want to pay. But the fees here are originally very low anyway.
そもそも住所も電話番号も分かっていますから、踏み倒すつもりもないと思うのですが。
We also know his address and phone number, so I don't think it's a possibility that he wants to escape payment.
金回りは悪くなさそうだったじゃないか。あんなにキンキラキンに着飾っちゃってさ。
He doesn't look like someone who's lacking money anyway. He's always dressed in such fancy clothing.
オーガスト神父。
Father Lazarus sighed.
手を動かすことを怠る者は貧しくなり、勤め働く者の手は富を得る。立派な衣服は 彼が勤勉に働いた証ではないですか。
Those who are lazy will become poor, and those who work hard will become rich. His fancy clothes don't his fancy clothes prove that he is a hardworking person? Even though Father Lazarus scolded him, but Father August still didn't hide his laughter.
だって実際キンキラキンだったじゃないか。趣味の良し悪しはこの際置いておくけど、金回りは良さそうに見えたよね、マイケル。
But isn't it? But am I not right? He was wearing fancy clothing anyway. And let's not judge his taste for a moment. But no matter how you look at him, he doesn't look like he lacks money. Michael, what do you think? I shrugged. But well, even though at the beginning he seemed to want to give me money to keep my mouth shut, but he gave me tips anyway. And from his usual conversation, I don't think he lacks money. I don't think he's the type of person who will want to escape payment.
マイケル、最後にミスター・モランと会ったのはどうやら君のようなんだ。私はあの時部屋の中にまでは入らなかったし。
Michael, the last person who has seen Mr. Moran appears to be you. I didn't go into his room at that time.
ミスターの様子に変わったところはなかったかい？
Did the Mr. have any strange behavior at the time?
いいえ、特に変わりは。
No, nothing special. When I went to give him lunch yesterday, he didn't seem out of place and was telling me about the secret society.
そうですか。ありがとうマイケル。多分ミスター・モランは休養ができたのでしょうね。後でこちらから連絡してみることにしましょう。
Zato, thank you, Michael. Mr. Moore must have had some urgent business to take care of. I'll try contacting him tomorrow.
授業が始まりますからもうお戻りなさい。時間を取らせて悪かったですね。
Hurry up and go to class. They're about to begin.
いいえ、そうだ。
That's right.
ミスター・モランは電話をお持ちでしょうか。電話番号をご存知でしたら教えていただきたいんですが。
Does Mr. Moran have a phone? If you know his telephone number, do you mind letting me know as well? The list of alumni did not record their telephone numbers, so I was unable to take it down.
電話ですか？来てすぐに教えてくれましたよ。今は手元にメモがないのでわかりませんが、知りたいですか？
Oh wait, I think I just missed some important information from this line. Oh, never mind. Never mind. Like his phone number? Do you want to know?
はい、ミスター・モランにはお世話になりましたから、僕からも直接お礼を言いたいんです。
Yes, Mr. Moran has been kind to me these days, and I want to thank him. I'm lying again. How many times do I have to repeat this? Father August doesn't notice this and smiles as he pats my shoulder.
いい心がけじゃないか。さすがマイケル。
Isn't that a nice way of thinking? That's Michael for you.
では、時間があるときに私の部屋にいらっしゃい。
Then, if you have time, come to my room.
はい、ありがとうございます。
Yes, thank you very much. After Mr. Moran left, I had some more spare time.
昼休みどうしようかな。
What should I do during noon? Oh, choices. I'm gonna stop here today. Oh, that episode is actually really scary. Oh my god. Once you know the ending, you go back to that episode. Oh god, it freaks me out so much. Oh, okay. Anyway, thank you for listening. See you next time.